Okay, on this episode of Choices, we are taking a look at a scene from the film Those Who Wait. At the time of this taping, the film is currently unreleased, so I will not be able to link to the full film, but there is a version of the film cut to a music video version of Cover Me Up by Morgan Wallen, so I will link to that. Which is really interesting recontextualization. For the purposes of this scene, though, what do I need to tell you? Well, this is a film that is about a man who has been discharged from service, who is suffering from PTSD and is dealing with it through a confrontation with his literal ghosts of his past and present and soon to be future. So we'll take a look here. Let's get started. This is early in the film. The main character's name is Eric Montez, and he's arrived home, his childhood home where he grew up. This is post-service, and he is having, let's just say he's seeing some things. All right, let's take a look. And now. So just barely in the bottom right of frame, we see actor Eric Anderson, who plays Montez's father. We hear his words, sort of philosophical ramblings of a cult leader. Now, intentionally in the film, I didn't want to see any dialogue on camera. I wanted all of the words to sort of happen off screen to give the sense of the presence of people in the home, but not to take away from Montez's loneliness, as he actually is alone in this home. There's this mirror that's been sort of covered up. He uncovers it, and of course when he does, there's a doorbell drawing his attention to the other room where we see Shirley Dalmas, the actress playing his mother, and there's a memory. So in order to pull off the memory, it's very warm lighting when we see the memories. We see actual people, but they're never really quite in focus or quite in the frame. And here we've just revealed a ghost in the reflection of this mirror. Montez is noticing the ghost. And I want to just take a second to point out the color palette for this film, and that's it. The clip is over, nearly over, I should say. We've moved on to the next scene, but I really wanted to play around with the color palette for this film, really placing Montez in a sort of purgatory. It's very drab. We have browns and grays. We used a hazer to really make the light creamy and add atmosphere to all the shots. And they're very long shots, very long takes, with not a lot of fast editing, just to create a sense of immediacy and to really place us in the moment with this character. It's very psychological, and this journey of his is very psychological. Here we have, it's morning, it's very restless. Actually not morning, it's evening. We've just panned off of this lantern. Then boom, jump cut. We go to the overhead shot of him in bed, and then there's a jump cut to daylight. Just sort of a jarring way to break us out of this restlessness of his sleep into the just barely having fallen asleep, kind of not really getting a sense of rest, his body positioning, the camera angle, splayed out on this bed. Again, the light, it's very ethereal from the outside. We're not really exposing for the outside. We're not seeing trees. We're not seeing the exterior through the windows. We really are, in effect, isolated with Montez in this bubble. And now this scene is over. And just a couple things to point out with this. Atmosphere, number one, very important to create this sort of sense of purgatory, which we did a number of ways. We did with lighting, we did with haze, we did with the color scheme and the production design, and also in the color correction. We also resorted to the longer takes, wide, very purposeful shots. We're not cutting back and forth between angles. We are really kind of progressing either closer and closer or farther and farther away. And we are evoking a sense of discovery for Montez as he is sort of dealing with these ghosts, literal ghosts, with the ghosts that he sees in the mirror, and then the ghosts of his past, which he is somewhat aware of at all times in this house, although not showing them clearly, so that we evoke a sense of the sort of the fogginess of memory. And these are the themes that are very strong in the piece. And the clip we saw was about 3.5 minutes. The entire film was about 25 minutes, to give you a sense of it. And again, a lot of ways to cover this film, to shoot this film, to bring this story to life. And it would have been very different. So I hope that you, when you watch this, get a sense of dread. You really get a sense of the psychology of Montez, his struggle with PTSD, the sort of himself feeling not really connected with the world that he's in, kind of stuck between worlds, and doing this a way where we could be led to wonder if he is himself a ghost. Like, has he died? Is this the afterlife? And I don't think that it is the afterlife, but especially given the events of what happened at the end of the film. But there you go. Atmosphere and psychology and loneliness. And again, just really breaking the rules in a couple of areas. In particular, very, very minimal dialogue in the piece from our main character, almost no dialogue. And yet the dialogue that does occur in the film happens off camera, or happens on the outskirts or fringes of the frame or of the scene, where we are aware of them, but we're not able to really focus in on them, to sort of create a sense of unease with the viewer as well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this episode of looking at directing choices for this piece, this scene from the larger film, Those Who Wait, which I wrote and directed, and which was beautifully shot by Bobby Hewitt, the cinematographer, and of course gaffed by Mikie Pedersen. And it was really a great experience, and I think the team just really knocked it out of the park in terms of creating this really beautiful, drab, dreary atmosphere. And last but not least, I definitely want to mention this wonderful performance by David John Craig, who plays Montez, who essentially had to carry the piece on his shoulders, since he's really the subject of the entire piece, but every shot doesn't have a lot of lines to work with, and really just brought this emotional backbone with authenticity that certainly casting is a choice, and I couldn't think of anyone other than David to play this, so I'm very glad that he did. And one thing that we have not dug into yet, but it is process regarding actors, a little backstory and a little context. David and I got together several times over a period of 2 months to explore this character and explore this material, to really mine our experiences, collective experiences, to find those connecting points for David and for the character. And not to mention, we also filmed this entire piece over what amounted to about 5 to 6 days over a 4-month period. So, and the house, by the way, is actually 3 different houses, to give you a sense of how we really did stitch this all together in what I think is a seamless way. And for David to maintain that performance, I think over that time with large gaps in between filming, really is a testament to him, and I hope you enjoy it. So take a look, if you have time, at the music video teaser version of the film, which I'll link below. And please subscribe if you'd like to get more of these episodes as they come out, to be notified, and certainly like or comment. We are eager to see what your feedback is, and to really tailor this to some things that work well, or to dig more into some of the choices of directing that you would like to know more about.